President Biden's announcement for all nursing home staff to be vaccinated has caused some to leave. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with how this is impacting nursing homes in southeast Kansas.
And Missouri schools learn about an option that could keep COVID-19 close contacts in the classroom.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Nursing home shortages impact a local facility. This is KOAM News at 6. Nursing home staff shortages are an issue nationwide. The American Healthcare Association says it's a problem for almost half of nursing homes in the country due to vaccine requirements. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky tells us how this has affected medical lodges employees throughout southeast Kansas in tonight's Making It Work report.
On August 18th, President Biden announced that his administration will require all nursing home staff to vaccinate against COVID-19. Following this announcement, medical lodges announced almost a week later that employees providing services directly to residents must be fully vaccinated. For employees who aren't, like Michael Clore, they're now being suspended.
It's a 2-week suspension without pay due to the fact that I did not get the vaccine by the required date of September 17th.
And Clore isn't the only employee who's been suspended. Those unvaccinated can no longer enter the building, meaning less staff to take care of residents. Medical Lodges was already facing a workforce shortage due to the conditions workers faced during the pandemic. In a statement from the nursing home, they tell us they did establish a timeline for employees, contractors, and vendors who provide services directly to residents and clients to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. While a few employees decided to leave their employment, Medical Lodges Girard was challenged to attract and hire employees well before the vaccination requirement. But unvaccinated employees on leave say they believe the requirement has an impact on the shortage and ultimately the care of their residents.
It will not only have an effect on the residents that are being cared for, it also is the stress of the people that have had the COVID shot that are still working there, because they're going to have to work longer hours. They're going to work with a shortage of nurses, of CNAs, of even housekeeping.
Clore said he was fine with wearing extra protection as an option to remain unvaccinated.
There was a big push for the vaccine to begin with. You get the vaccine, you don't have to wear full PPE. If you don't get the vaccine, we're going to make you wear the full PPE.
But now that option is gone, and with nursing homes across the country already facing staffing shortages, this requirement could make things harder. In southeast Kansas, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Medical Lodge added in their statement that they're grateful to their employees for demonstrating their mission to serve and that being vaccinated is the best weapon against COVID-19. Nick Kelly, unseasonably warm out there.
But we at least kept things quiet as we got this new work week and school week underway. Dal, a little bit of high cloud cover out there, sure, but not threatening by any stretch of the imagination. That's a good indication of how the rest of the evening is going to go. A wider look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, though, shows additional cloud cover developing out in southwestern parts of Oklahoma and into the Lone Star State. That will head our way during the overnight, all because of a storm system in the upper level spinning across the Four Corners in the desert southwest. That's going to be our next rainmaker, and we'll break down when that will come into play later on. In the meantime, though, temperatures are holding steady in the mid to upper 80s. Maybe a few spots around Yates Center and Sedan, for example, trying to hold on near 90. But as we continue through the rest of the evening, we'll drop back to 74 by 10 Dow before we drop back to 64 during the overnight hours. Again, we'll break down when rain chances will come our way and when it will give us a break from this warmth here in a bit.
See you then. State of Missouri is considering a test to stay proposal for students in districts all across the state. While final details of the plan are being worked out, the plan would basically allow students who are close contacts of a COVID positive student to remain in school without quarantining as long as they continue to test negative for COVID. The policy would be optional for districts to adapt as needed. However, some local districts say it's not something they would consider.
I would be doubtful that we would, simply because of the burden on our school nurses that all that additional testing would require when we really haven't seen the school transfer that we thought we would anyway. And since our quarantine guidance is even less restrictive than the test to stay option.
Moss adds that the current re-entry plan is still fluid, and if conditions change, the plan could change. Tonight at 9 and 10, we're going to hear more about what the proposed plan is and what plans are already in place locally. U.S. Senator Roger Marshall from Kansas introduces a bill that would prevent the military from issuing dishonorable discharges for a service member just for refusing a COVID-19 vaccine. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin announced the vaccine requirement in August. Now, under the bill, service members who refuse to get vaccinated could still face discharge, just not dishonorable discharge. The distinction is an important one. U.S. military members who are dishonorably discharged face losing certain rights normally afforded to service members, such as gun ownership, access to the GI Bill, VA home loans, VA medical benefits, military funeral honors, and re-enlistment in another military branch.
Yeah, I do think there's a big difference. First of all, when people signed to join the military, that this was not on the table, as opposed to they knew that the other vaccines were required. But never before we've asked our soldiers to take a vaccine where the virus itself is not a big risk to them.
The bill is co-sponsored by Oklahoma Senator James Langford and other senators. Similar legislation passed through the House Armed Services Committee as an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act. Top Kansas legislators are forming a committee to examine the impact of COVID-19 mandates and what they call government overreach, partly in response to President Biden's federal vaccine requirements. Senate President Ty Masterson and House Speaker Ron Rickman will appoint the 11-member panel, which will meet for up to 5 days and hear public testimony. One senior Democrat said the move could further politicize the pandemic. Governor Laura Kelly and all state House members are up for re-election in 2022. Governor Kelly has ordered flags throughout the state to be flown at half-staff to honor COVID-19 victims as Kansas exceeds 6,000 reported deaths. Kelly's order today applies immediately and directs the flags remain lowered until sunset on Wednesday. The governor has issued such an order every time Kansas reports another 1,000 COVID-19 deaths. The Missouri Department of Conservation plans to test hundreds of deer for the coronavirus this hunting season. The U.S. Department of Agriculture reported federal testing in 5 other states showed deer carrying the antibodies that include 67% of the deer tested in Michigan. However, none of the deer actually fell ill, and there is no evidence of humans contracting COVID from eating venison. Still ahead, Freeman Health System kicks off Breast Cancer Awareness Month with a new fundraiser for the Helping Friends Mammogram Fund. And the city of Tulsa honors a woman who helped bring a literary classic to the silver screen. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Freeman Health System is trying to help the efforts. Experts say 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime, and early detection of the disease can make a world of difference. A Freeman doctor and breast cancer patient today discussed the importance of regular screenings.
We, of course, do have our high-risk clinic where we see people who have a strong family history, and we keep a closer eye on those patients, but the majority of the breast cancers we see are not a family-oriented diagnosis. It's a sporadic diagnosis.
Freeman is hosting several events through the month of October to raise awareness of breast cancer, including a purse raffle and free mammograms on the 15th. The Pink Door Boutique is also selling special edition t-shirts. Proceeds from the sale of the shirts will go to the Helping Friends Mammogram Fund. An Oklahoma librarian who played a big role in bringing the book The Outsiders to the silver screen is honored for her contribution. Reporter Danica Hill has more.
Mayor G.T. Bynum giving Joe Ellen Misakian a key to the city.
The Outsiders House always gives us these opportunities to celebrate what we love the most about Tulsa.
Joe Ellen pushing for the Outsiders book to become a movie, which ended up being filmed right here in Tulsa.
I bought a paperback book and I sent it to the New York office. I sent it to Coppola in Hollywood, Zoetrope, and he read it.
Joellen says along the way, Hollywood writers staying in contact with her while producing the film that's now dear to many Tulsans and people from all over.
I left LA to be here because I love The Outsiders, but I fell in love with you guys. The people is what makes Tulsa so special to me. There's so much to love here.
Danny Boy O'Connor purchasing the property back in 2016 and officially opening the museum in 2019.
How could it be available for sale? And I think it just took one guy to jump in head first and rally for it, and now I realize there's fans all over the world.
Leonardo DiCaprio and members of Green Day, just some of the names that stopped by the house this summer. Ms. Joellen now joining them on the Wall of Fame.
I'm just happy to be here, and I think Danny is the moving force for all this. He's absolutely amazing. I have never met anyone like him.
Danica Hill, News Channel 8.
You can check out the museum for yourself. It's on St. Louis Avenue in Tulsa. Later, some civil rights advocates say St. Louis area police officers allowed a dog to bite a suspect for too long.
But first, we'll break down our forecast, which includes one more quiet day before our rain chances ramp back up. Forecast up next. We kept things quiet once again for today, but unseasonably warm, just as Dow mentioned as we got this show underway. Let's break down the numbers for today. On the heels of upper 80s for highs yesterday, we dropped back into the middle to upper 60s this morning. Most spots around 67. Then we wasted no time going back so far to about 87, perhaps 88 at Joplin Regional. We'll find out the official numbers with the almanac tonight at 10. In the meantime, though, we just had quiet skies once again all day long. Partly to mostly sunny skies at times, but that cloud cover not producing a drop of rain anywhere. This radar is going to stay quiet for tonight and tomorrow before it starts to get another workout again as soon as we get Wednesday back into play here. 7th and range line right now, though. Can't deny how nice that sky looks. Mostly sunny from that vantage point of Joplin, 85 in the city. South breeze at 9, but not pumping in a lot of moisture. It's keeping the humidity quite low at 37%. So it is comfy, even though it is quite warm for any outdoor plans this evening. Most of us are in the mid to upper 80s. But once you hop west of Chanute, Yates Center, Independence, and Newata, you're seeing a few spots right around 90 degrees. But that's pretty much the exception rather than the rule in terms of overall temperatures at the 6 o'clock hour. We had no problem warming back up again, not just because of the dry air in place still at the surface, but a southwest and south wind at times at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And that's not even taking into account the wind gusts that we've seen throughout the course of the day. These wind gusts pushing almost up to 30 miles per hour at their strongest during the course of the day. From here on out, though, that breeze is going to lighten up, allow us to drop back into the upper 70s by 8, and eventually we'll drop back, most of us rather, right around 64 degrees. Let's break down our weather setup here. We don't have much in the way of action happening across the entire 4-state region. Can't help but notice to the southwest, though, additional cloud cover developing in southwestern Oklahoma and Texas, not because of any systems at the surface. We have a frontal boundary to the north, but we're waiting for this cold front to help bring in rain chances for the weekend. But in the short term, though, it's upstairs that we're seeing the cloud cover coming in due to this upper low spinning across the desert southwest. We are going to stay on the warmer side of the jet for tomorrow, but as soon as that upper low comes into play by Wednesday, that's when our rain chances will start to ramp back up. In the short term, though, we'll just deal with mostly clear skies to start the evening out, then turning partly cloudy as we go into tomorrow morning. And as long as we stay with partly sunny skies throughout the day with a lighter breeze out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour, thankfully it won't be quite as windy tomorrow. We'll still have a warm afternoon. 64 in the morning, 83 by noon. Afternoon highs right around 88. We'll keep things quiet overall to start Wednesday out. I think the future track's jumping the gun in terms of getting any rain chances in here. I think we're dry to start Wednesday out, but once we hit the afternoon, that's when we're going to see the rain chances start to ramp up as this upper low passes nearby. That may skedaddle as we go into Thursday, but more energy from the southwest and that front to the northwest keeps rain chances in play for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they could give us maybe an inch, maybe 2.5 inches. We're still trying to fine tune who will see the heaviest of the rain, but as we get closer to these rain chances, we'll get a better idea of who will exactly see how much. But we'll take these rain chances because we could certainly use some, plus it'll give us a break in temperatures. 88 on Tuesday, 84 on Wednesday, near 78 on Thursday, and for the weekend, Dow, not looking too bad, at least temperature-wise, upper 70s to near 80.
Yeah, highs in the 70s, we'll take that. We need the rain.
Yes, we do.
Thanks, Nick. Still ahead, NASA announces a first for the space agency with the release of a digital interactive graphic novel. We're going to tell you about the out of this world story a little bit later.
And furniture.
Some civil rights activists want 3 police officers fired in Woodson Terrace, Missouri. Video shows them allowing a police dog to apparently bite a suspect they were taking into custody. Activists say the way he was treated by police is criminal. Alex Feast has the story.
Zaki Baroudi of the Universal African Peoples Organization reacts to cell phone video of an arrest Monday by Woodson Terrace police.
When they released their canine dogs upon this person, even though he was in custody, it was reminiscent of the days where these canine dogs were released upon our people during the civil rights era as we sought justice throughout America.
Police say the still unnamed suspect was wanted for trespassing inside a business. Civil rights activists say the way the man was treated is criminal.
He released the dog. Then they said the man continued to resist the arrest as the dog bit him. Inexcusable, unacceptable. Termination, criminal proceedings. We need a full account of this.
We tried to reach Woodson Terrace police several times Friday, but they were not available. This week, however, in a statement, police said the man claimed to be, quote, a sovereign citizen, threatened verbally to kill their officers, and was suspected of being on drugs. But activists say the cell phone video shows none of that.
We're not having it, family. It's not acceptable. This is not going to go away. This is not a bad nightmare that we're going to wake up and let it disappear. It's going to end now.
In a statement, St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell said, quote, our office is aware of this video and we will make a thorough review of the incident. It would be premature to comment on the merits or specifics of an ongoing investigation at this time, end quote. A final check on the weather is next.
Today.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Dick Fuller. The Fairland, Oklahoma native served in the U.S. Navy during World War II. And we are proud to salute Dick Fuller. He's tonight's 4-state hero. You can learn about lots of other heroes from all across this area. You can also nominate a hero of your own anytime. And it's so easy to do. You just go to our website, you click on the link. It's KOAMNewsNow.com. Jordan Abbey joins us now with a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, I'm going to tell you about a new COVID-19 quarantine proposal from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. Also, several workers at the happiest place on earth, Walt Disney World, protest a new vaccine policy. And some scientists are turning food waste into medical gear. That, of course, much more coming your way tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Jordan, thanks. Saturday was National Comic Book Day, and NASA celebrated the observance while also promoting gender equality. The space agency releasing its first digital interactive graphic novel. The 40-page comic book is called First Woman, NASA's Promise for Humanity. It's a fictional account of Kaylee Rodriguez, the first woman on the moon. It may be a work of fiction, but putting the first woman and first person of color on the moon, they are very real parts of NASA's future. Those historic milestones are set to be part of NASA's Artemis missions. With the digital format, readers are able to engage and interact via augmented reality elements. You can also listen to the novel on NASA's SoundCloud channel. There are also plans for a Spanish language version of that very first issue. Weather-wise, some chances for rain eventually this week, but right now it's just warm.
Yeah, but quiet. That's the way it'll stay for this evening and tomorrow, Dell, with highs back around 88 degrees. Once we hit Wednesday and unfortunately through the coming weekend, we do have the rain chances wrapping back up, but we need these rain chances. Plus, it'll eventually knock us back into the 70s, especially by the weekend.
That'll be welcome for sure. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.